just want to say that actually Ipswich Town are part of my top 5 Blues ever memories. And it was in the League Cup at St.Andrews. I believe we were 1-0 down from the first leg at Portman Road. They came to our St.Andrews. And what a game it was. We ended up winning 4-1 and going to the final against Liverpool. But that night, I think I must have only been about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And that is cemented genuinely as one of my top 5 memories as a Blues fan. You know, we had the nostalgic yellow mitre ball. There were scuffs all over the pitch. There was pitch invasions. There was goals.
I was going to say, you know, that's the only game I can ever remember me, you, and our daughter being on the pitch.
Yeah.
Don't tell your mum.
So welcome back to Small Heath Alliance FC. And on Saturday, Birmingham City travelled to Portman Road to play Ipswich Town. And there's no doubt that Ipswich have had a fantastic season so far. The newly promoted team, at the time of recording, are sitting in 3rd place on 69 points and joint 2nd with Leeds. And Birmingham City are currently in 15th, coming off the back of 2 fantastic wins. So this is already shaping up to be a fantastic and entertaining game. So let's get straight into it. So Dad, what are your thoughts on the game ahead of Saturday?
Well, I think Ipswich have surprised a lot of people this season. Having come up straight from League One last season, normally teams that come up from League One generally struggle, or a good season would be sort of round about mid-table. But Ipswich have taken the division by storm. Look at their stats. I mean, they out of the first 13 games, they won 11 of them, drew 1 and lost 1. And then after that 13 game, they drew us. We were 2-0 up, as you know, at St.Andrews, and playing really, really well. Probably our best game under Rooney, I would suggest.
Best result for sure.
But we ran out of steam after about 65 minutes. And I think this typical what Ipswich do this season. They have impact substitutes. So they even when I looked at the post-match interview with the Ipswich manager, he was saying that he was prepared for this. And he brought on substitutes that made a massive difference. And basically, their energy against our team that were, you know, on really sort of using a lot of energy throughout the game. We ended up drawing 2-2. But for us, it was disappointing because we felt we were in a position to win that game. But you can't deny that Ipswich are a very, very good side.
And they're kind of like, Ipswich are like my version of Sunderland last year. I really like watching Ipswich. They're really entertaining. And what I like about Ipswich is, you know, they're competing with the top 3. You know, your Leicesters, your Leeds, and your Southampton. Sorry, the big 3. But they don't have any standout stars. You know, like if you look at Leeds, Leicester and Southampton, you've got like Mavididi, Somerville, all these top-class players who are Premier League players in the waiting with or without their current teams. But Ipswich, don't get me wrong, that's no disrespect to Ipswich. If anything, it's a compliment. They've got players. They're just playing incredible football. They're not relying on individual stars here. I mean, they have just got a cracking loanee in the January market, Kiefer Moore. I know he's played for.
Good signing.
Played for, scored for. So he's smashing him in the back of the net. But yeah, I've been really impressed with Ipswich, and I think what has caught my attention is their speed on the transition and the speed on the break. It is frightening. It's almost up there with Leicester. You know when they're transitioning from defence upwards, they're so fast, and I think that has gone really well for them because they've caught a lot of teams out on that quick transition.
Yeah, very, very, very true. I mean, they play a high press and a quick turnover, and their wing backs get forward very, very quickly. So they're very fast on the transition, and we'll have to guard against that. Yeah. They were very much like that at St Andrews. For most of the game up until the last 20 minutes, we guarded against that. But we can show the last game they played against Rotherham, which was 4-3 to Ipswich, that they can be, you know, you can score goals against them, but they're always capable of scoring those goals, and that's where we've got to be, you know, on our guard. They've got a massively, you know, one of the best home records in the whole of the championship. They've I'll just have a look at my stats here. They've won 11, drawn 4 and lost just 1 at home this season, and that was against Leeds United. So it tells us it's going to be a really, really tough fixture. But you say, I agree with you as well, Matt, what you said. You know, they've got no standout stars. But I think they have now because because when they came in, they brought most of the team that they're doing well. The vast majority of the team that came up from League One, although they have made some good additions, as you've mentioned. Jeremy Sarmiento, they got him from Brighton. He's been good. He came in January as well. And they are a team that are used to playing each other, which is what they brought the momentum in there. So, you know, players like, you know, I mean, George Hurst is injured and he's one of their top goal scorer. But if you look at their top goal scorers, Nathan Broadhead has got 11 goals. Connor Chaplin's got 10 goals and 7 assists. That's a really good record for this season as well. And then you've got, like, you know, the left wing, Wes Byrne, he's got 5 goals. So they're a team that spread the goals around the team. And also one to watch as well is Leif Davis. He's their left. He's if you look at their team profile, it says he's a left back, but he's actually a left wing back.
Right.
Now listen to this. I don't know if you know this. 14 assists this season.
Wow.
14 assists, yeah, and he was out for a time, injured as well for a few games as well. So I think they've got pace all over the team, and also what a big thing in their favour is confidence. They went on a bit of a blip, sort of towards end of January. In the start of the new year, but they've now recovered and won their last 3 games.
Yeah, so even that blip was just what I think was 1 loss and 2 draws. Maybe it wasn't even that much of a blip, but Ipswich are having that much of a good season, as you say. They're back to three on the bounce now, which is really impressive. And I always try and pick a player who's going to cause Blues possible problems. And against Sunderland, I picked Jack Clarke. And that's no secret. Everyone knows Jack Clarke is a world-class player. But for me, I think Ipswich's version of Jack Clarke is going to be Wes Burns. And you just mentioned him just there. Yeah. And Ipswich, they're fast on the counter. They're fast on the press. But also they get crosses in the box. Yeah. And Blues have been vulnerable on the wing side sometimes. And I mean, the good thing is Wes Burns is going to be up against Lerdo. So if anyone in the team is going to give Wes Burns a run for his money, I trust Lerdo. He's in form. He's a good player. Yeah. But Portman Road, how many goals? So they've had 16 games at home this season. 67 goals. That is incredible, isn't it? And that just screams a home of entertaining football. I mean, look at it a couple of nights ago. Ipswich 4, Rotherham 3, 2 goals in 90+ minutes, and their goal was pretty much the last kick of the game. This is a team that doesn't know when they're beaten. And again, you referenced it at St.Andrews. They came from 2 behind to get a point at St.Andrews as well. So I think we're in for a tough day. I like to do a score prediction. So I was eyeing up between 1-1 and 2-2, and my heart tells me 1-1, but because of the amount of goals that are scored at Portman Road, I'm going to go for your prediction against Sunderland. I'm going to go for this one at Desmond. I'm going to go 2-2.
Okay, that's an interesting scoreline. I think as for Blues, I think we'll line up with the same starting lineup that we have for the last 2 games. I think that's happened. I think also as well, I think the players are going to be motivated to do this for Tony Mowbray as well.
Definitely.
And it's worth mentioning as well, get well soon, Tony. We're all thinking about you. Obviously your health always comes first, but we will be thinking about you, and I'm sure the players will be motivated to try and get this result for you. Absolutely. I think we'll start, as I say, with the same lineup. The only thing that may happen is that obviously Sanderson, I believe, probably back on the bench now. Mm-hmm. Probably Pritchard may be on the bench, but it's hard to tell. You get sort of mixed messages about Pritchard, about whether he's actually fit and ready to go. Yeah. So we could have more options on the bench, but I'll start with the same lineup. As you said, for us, I think Laird and Drama need to be on their guard, because that's where most of the attacks come from Ipswich, and they've got really, really pacey players as well.
Their right hand side with Wes Burns, I've seen, because what I do, I don't know whether other football fans do this, but on a soccer Saturday, I'll lie in bed at night just before bed and sleep, and I'll go through all the goals in the Championship just to flick through. And Ipswich are prone to scoring absolute screamers. There was one game, I can't remember what it was. It was like another 4-3 or a 3-2, and every single goal was an absolute belter. So Ipswich know how to shoot from distance. That was another thing I was going to say, actually. John Ruddy needs to be on his game this weekend as well, because they love a shot from outside the box, Ipswich. Yeah. And I'm quite happy with Ruddy at the moment. He seems to have picked up a little bit of form. He made a couple of cracking saves against Sunderland, that last minute one against Blackburn as well. So Ruddy seems to be finding some form, but prepare, John. They are going to be firing shots at you left, right, centre from outside of the box, I think. But I think we're going to set up well. I think we're going to set up compact, and I think, although we just complimented Ipswich on the transition, now we've got Dazal and Paik, and I think they will start. We're now quicker on the transition as well. Yeah. So I think it's actually going to be a really entertaining game, and I think it's got all the makings of an end-to-end sort of game as well. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a cracking game. As I said, I'm going to go for 2-2.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, Ipswich have scored 41 home goals this season. At Portman Road, that's the highest in the whole division. That tells you that obviously they're a good team. There's only but on the other side of that, only Plymouth and all of the bottom 3 have scored less away goals than us. Okay. So therefore, they've got everything would suggest that they score a lot of home goals and we don't score many away goals. However, as a score prediction, obviously I think it's going to be a tough game, because they need to win to keep the pressure on the teams above them, because they're going for automatic promotion. Yeah. We need to win so we can keep that gap and start to continue to move away from trouble from the bottom 3. Mm-hmm. So each team's motivated, but in very, very different ways. I'm actually going to go here. I tend to predict 2-2 for every game, but I I'm going to go for a draw as well, but I'm going to go for 1-1.
Okay.
And I think in this game as well, Tyler Roberts will score his first goal for us.
Okay, hopefully.
Because I think he's due a goal, and I think he's playing well enough to get a goal.
Yeah.
And I think once he gets his first goal, I think that could ignite him for us. So I'm going to go for a tough game. I think that, if we're well set up and we're sound, I think we can get away with a good performance there. Then 1-1 to me is where I think we'll be.
I hope we don't pay them too much respect. I hope we don't sit back and be too compact. I hope we're quite aggressive moving forward, because whether Ipswich fans like to hear this, they conceded 3 goals to Rotherham. Rotherham are sitting at the bottom of the table. They are vulnerable. They can't. They aren't prone to conceding goals. So I think if we go out there and we attack and we play like Mowbray has been setting us up over the past couple of games, I think we'll do okay.
Well, we played well. When we played him at St.Andrews, that was when Rooney was just starting to try and impose some of what he wanted to do, and I think the players played really well there, and we pressed them really high, which is what they'll do to us. So you can imagine a game where there's going to be lots of pressing in both halves.
Definitely.
And I think what could be the difference in this game will be it's going to be mistakes. If all the Blues players do their job, and they'll be well aware of the threats of Ipswich, and obviously stop the supply line, because they've got to cut the crosses out, because Kiefer Moore in the air is very, very good. So if he when we went to Leeds, I know we was under Rooney then, but that simple goal that Leeds scored where they crossed it in. And who was it that scored the goal for Leeds? Patrick Bamford. Yeah, and he was unmarked. We can't do that against Ipswich.
What were me and you screaming from the stands? Don't let the cross go in the box in the first place.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes our fullbacks cut in a little bit too close to the centre halves and do allow the occasional ball into the box. And for certain teams, that's okay because they don't have much of an aerial threat. I mean, you should never let the ball in the box in the first place. That's pretty much rule 101 of a fullback's job. However, with Kiefer Moore in the box, that's a recipe for disaster. Yeah. So I'm hoping in this game they've done their homework, they've done their research. Ledo and Drama get tight into those to those wingers. Stop those crosses coming in.
Yeah. Cut off the supply line. That's
exactly.
That's it. And we know that sometimes we're guilty, our left and our right back, of giving the wing players and the wide players too much room. 100%. We often see, because we sit in the Tilton, so we sit right on that side, don't we? And often we see the ball lofted over to one of their players, and we haven't got a player within about 25 yards of it. So we do give them lots and lots of space. So I think if we're on our guard and cut out the supply line. But, the way we're playing, we've got a bit of confidence. Don't forget, we're off the back of 2 wins as well.
Absolutely.
And, if we can play our game the way we want to play it, and, we do what we've done in the last couple of games, I think we'll give Ipswich a really good game in this one. Yeah. I'd love to come away with 3 points. I mean, that would be absolutely amazing.
I think we can. I really do think we can.
I believe we can as well. But I think 3 points would be absolutely amazing. But to me, if we can come away with a point, I think that's a good point for the way they're playing at the moment and where they are in the league.
Considering we've got Southampton the following week as well. If we come away from Portman Road with a point, that puts us in the Southampton game with so much more confidence. 2 wins and a draw, one of them being at Portman Road.
Yeah.
What does that do for us moving forward?
It's good. And obviously, as usual, the Blues end is completely sold out again. Yeah. So we'll have good support there. And I think as well, just to finish for me, there'll be a lot of love there for Tony Mowbray, because he's an Ipswich hero anyway. He played for Ipswich. Obviously, he's our manager now, and obviously he's going through a bad time at the moment. And I think there'll be a lot of love there for him, and I think he deserves it as well.
Rightly so. And I believe from what I've been reading on Twitter, there is going to be a banner made, and I think it's going to be passed around the crowd around the 60th minute.
That'd be fantastic.
And I believe it says "Get well soon, Gaffer," and it's got obviously a picture of Mowbray on it, which is brilliant.
Fantastic.
But before we finish and conclude, I just want to say that actually Ipswich Town are part of my top 5 Blues ever memories, and it was in the League Cup at St.Andrews. I believe we were 1-0 down from the first leg at Portman Road. They came to our St.Andrews. And what a game it was. We ended up winning 4-1 and going to the final against Liverpool. But that night, I think I must have only been about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And that is cemented genuinely as one of my top 5 memories as a Blues fan. We had the nostalgic yellow mitre ball. There were scuffs all over the pitch. There was pitch invasions. There was goals.
I was going to say, that's the only game I can ever remember me, you, and our daughter being on the pitch.
Yeah.
Don't tell your mum.
I can still hear the sound of the guy going, "Please don't broach the pitch. Get back to your seats. It's a criminal offence."
Well, there was more people on the pitch than in the stands, to be honest.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
was just absolutely elated. But yeah, that's a good memory, that is, Matt. I remember that. Yeah.
And it was that iconic moment where AJ put the top over his head and then the fans all mobbed him by the corner flag. Just a brilliant, brilliant night. And I'm sorry, Ipswich fans, I know you were on the wrong end of it that night, but it's still a compliment that is such a core, fundamental memory of me as a Blues fan.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that, because that was it. It's great, and you can remember moments like that. Just remember why you're a football fan and some of the memories that you get. So it hasn't all been bad. We've had bad times, but we've got great good memories as well.
100% amazing memories. And also as well, I just want to get some confirmation. Apparently the Blues fans gave Ipswich the reputation Tractor Boys, but there is some confusion on Twitter. Some Ipswich fans have a different theory. So I'm going to put a question. Ipswich fans, did Blues fans give you the reputation or the nickname, the Tractor Boys? Because you told me that we gave them the nickname Tractor Boys. So I'm really interested to get some clarity on it.
We obviously started singing "No Noise from the Tractor Boys," which I know a lot of other supporters sing that now. But my understanding is that originated from St.Andrews when they played us. Not that we want to take credit for that. It's just interesting if that's where your name came from. Then it'd be good to know, wouldn't it? Really.
So I think you'll agree Saturday is shaping up to be a really quite amazing and entertaining game. But football is all about opinion. And you've heard my opinion, you've heard Dad's opinion. Blues fans, Ipswich fans, please drop us a comment in the section below. Do you think we've got the score prediction right, or do you have a prediction of your own? Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content.